everywhere. Oh. What? No, did I just get a console hang? Oh. All footage in this video is captured from original hardware using my RGB and region modded TurboGrafx 16 and an open source scan converter. No emulation here. Okay, so this is a game called Ninja Spirit on the TurboGrafx 16. It was brought over to the United States and basically not even ported. They didn't do any translation text or anything. They just brought it straight over as is. That's why some of like the intro screens and stuff still feature some Japanese text that's not translated. This was generally considered one of the better games on the TurboGrafx, and I think if this had been the pack-in title instead of Keith Courage, they might have had a little bit more popularity. And I think in some later releases of the TurboGrafx, this was the pack-in. So we're going to give this a shot. I haven't played this since sometime in the 90s, maybe, 25 years or so. This Ninja Spirit cart, or card, has been on my shelf for a very long time. And I finally dusted it off, and we're going to see how we do. So I have no idea what the story for this was supposed to be. I guess you get struck by lightning and absorb the spirit of a wolf. Because I can't read Japanese, so I have no idea what that intro screen just said. But here we go. And it features gameplay that's very reminiscent of like The Legend of Kage on the NES, where it's got like the floaty jump mechanics and stuff like that. At the same time, it's got elements of like a horizontal shooter. Like you can get these body doubles that follow you around. That's very similar to like the option ships in like the Gradius series. These have always been like real popular in Japanese games like this. And we're gonna see how far we can get. I seem to remember that there was one of the bosses, like a couple of stages in, was always a blocker for me. I don't think I ever beat this back in the day, but we'll see what happens today. Again, with the disclaimer that I haven't played this in a very long time. I'm probably going to be terrible, so we'll see what happens. But one of the things that this game was known for back in the day is that the bosses were huge. You got to remember that like when this came out, this was competing with like Super Mario Brothers and stuff. Not even Super Mario World. This was competing with the NES. So the large on-screen sprites were very much a big deal. Because a lot of games couldn't really handle that. And a lot of systems couldn't really handle that. Alright, whoa. What's going on here? Got these guys jumping at us. Here we go. No, I think this is like a big statue that comes up out of the ground. Yeah, here we go. And so as you can see in the upper left corner, I've got like all these different weapons. And you can switch between them with the select button of the gamepad. And that may have just beat the boss. Yes. Yeah, and again, these intro screens are not translated, so I have no idea what they're saying. Maybe I just made some story progress. Maybe it was just saying, welcome to stage 2. I really have no idea. But we'll do our Legend of Kage thing and jump through the trees with the floaty jump mechanics. And firing off our crazy shurikens all over the place. Because that's what you do when you're a ninja with like the spirit of the wolf or whatever it was from that first screen at the beginning. Yeah, I still love games like this. You can take something like this and just sort of pick it up and play it for, 10, 15 minutes and not feel like you've lost out. I mean, if you were to try and play Skyrim or something for 10 minutes, you know, like, what's the point? You're not going to make any progress. But a more arcadey type of game like this, you lose nothing if you only have a limited amount of time to just hook this up and go. One of the other things that's worth mentioning, the TurboGrafx 16 controller, it was called the PC Engine over in Japan, but the controller came with built-in rapid-fire buttons, which for a game like this was a big help. Just throwing these shurikens everywhere. Alright, is this a boss? It is a boss, alright. This guy, I don't remember. What is he doing? Oh, crap. He's everywhere. Oh. What? No, did I just get a console hang? Oh. Alright, so we had some technical difficulties there. My console locked up. That is, unfortunately, the kind of thing that, you know, sometimes happens with original hardware when you're running on these 30-year-old consoles. Sometimes, literally, you know, the system just locks up and there's not a lot you can do about it. But we're basically back where we left off in the second stage here. Shooting bombs at all these dudes. And I don't know for sure, but I think the bombs do more damage than the other weapons, and they've got that explosion. So I'm trying to use these. You can't, this is a game where you can't take a lot of hits before you die, so you have to kind of try and dodge all this stuff. I don't believe that hitting the regular enemies will hurt you, but their weapons will. And like with these bosses, getting hit by the bosses at all, any contact, I think, is enough to one-shot you. So these guys are really difficult. Oop, oop. Did that kill him? Okay. Well, I seem to remember that guy being a lot harder. Maybe it's the bombs that are doing it for me. Hey, this looks familiar. This looks like it's the opening scene where I had that wolf howling. Alright, what's going on? Oh, those are my bombs. Are they shooting muskets at me? They're not supposed to do that. What's with that big ogre guy? Yeah, look at that dude. Oh! Oh, he chopped me up. No good. Big zombie ogre guy. Yeah, and see, now you start off... When you die, that's the real penalty. It's similar to, like, Gradius or Life Force, you know, like a shooter. Where if you die, the main penalty is losing all of your power-ups. So now I'm back to, like, the generic sword and throwing stars, which is a pretty massive penalty when you think about it. I love the backgrounds and stuff. The graphics on this game always impressed me for the time. Again, you know, go find some screenshots of like Super Mario Brothers 1, and then watch footage from a game like this, and you know, you'll understand kind of what it was like going from the NES to a system like the TurboGrafx. And this came out before, you know, the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis or anything. So, I mean, this was a big deal back in its day. Unfortunately, the TurboGrafx didn't do too well in the United States. From what I understand, they completely bungled, like, the marketing and the release. They only put it out in some test markets with, like, a third of the marketing budget that they probably should have done. And it never really got too popular. I did not own a TurboGrafx back in the day. I got one years later as an adult, and RGB modded it, and Region modded it, and all that good stuff. I've got a lot of mod work in that box. But I did know one guy this guy Chris that I knew, he actually had a TurboGrafx 16. He didn't have the CD adapter or anything like that. He just had the regular system. But it was a big deal. We all loved it, and we got some really sore thumbs playing Keith Courage. I'll tell you that. That is a terrible, terrible game that involves quite a bit of button mashing. But the bright, colorful graphics on Keith Courage were a really big deal back in the day. Whoa, what's this guy doing? Alright, we'll get your weird staff out of here. Oh, good, I finally got the second guy. Do I have the bombs? There's the bombs. I gotta keep going. I don't want these wolves doing their thing at me. Bombs back. Alright. Well, that is a very large ninja. And that is a very dead ninja. He did not like my bombs. And again, I don't speak Japanese. I have no idea what that text between the levels says. This looks... Oh! Oh! That was interesting. It looked like I grabbed the ceiling there. Neat. Oh, wow. Okay, that's kind of weird. Hey, come back. Alright, I don't know what I think about that. I don't remember that mechanic at all. So. Yeah, that's going to be more trouble than it's worth. Oh, well. Alright, well, I gamed over. This is going to be a short one. That's me trying out Ninja Spirit for the first time since the 1990s, probably 25 years or so. I remember absolutely loving this game. I'll probably have another video of it again at some point. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching.